Good morning, press delegates. Second time's the charm. All right. So, as you know, I'm Alex Osmond. I'm your press secretary for this year. I'll be moderating this conference. And of course, Zachary Patrick Donaldson is our 75th youth governor, all that jazz. So, I'll call on you guys. You ask the questions, Zach will answer. You know the drill. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, I'll just be using the raise fan feature. I'll call on you, Zach will answer. So, all right. Delegate Conway.
Anna Conway, East Shore Y. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for meeting with us this morning. My question is, what were you most looking forward to this weekend, and how has it played out thus far?
Awesome, an amazing question. I was most looking forward to kind of meeting with my admin group, discussing the legislative attack plan we had out based on the platform we had constructed earlier this year. And it's played out really well. I think we've had a lot of success in pushing the ideas we want. And I know today we're looking at kind of pushing a diversity of bills from a lot of different delegations, large and small. And I'm really excited to see how a lot of those play out.
Delegate Kasunik. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Rio Kasnick from Hershey Delegation. Thank you for this time this morning. My question is, what is the hardest part about transitioning to a virtual youth in government this year?
That's a tough question, but a very good one. I'd say it's monitoring Zoom rooms, but no, there's a lot of, I think, technical aspects that are added to a Zoom conference that are hard to monitor. We've had to kind of rework as a legislative branch how we monitor and manage debates. So I'd say just adapting it to the format, but overall, it's been very successful, and I think this has felt like a pretty full, pretty cohesive model.
All right, Delegate Reinbuff.
What bill are you most currently excited to sign into law?
So there's currently a bill, amazing question. There's currently a bill going through that just passed Senate yesterday. It's written by my good friend Anoop. It's called the Equal Admissions Act. And essentially it levels the playing field for college admissions, and it does it in a few through reformative actions. The most controversial one being ending the affirmative action process, which is something my administration is in favor of. We know it's a hot button issue. It legalizes recreational marijuana as a source of funding, which I thought was a unique twist, but also a very well-researched one. He was able to bring up a lot of good stats and figures about how that would balance out some of the costs added by the program. And then it also adds benefits for lower income students by giving kind of a meritocratized incentive for high performers to get funding from in-state schools to keep high-performing Pennsylvania students in-state. So overall, I thought it was a very well-rounded bill that helps reform higher ed and bolster our economy.
Delegate Thrush.
McKenna Thrush, East Shore Y. Can you explain your stance on the judicial case?
Absolutely. So I've looked through the judicial case, and I know it's regarding the privacy stance. If a therapist or licensed psychiatrist is allowed to disclose the information of a direct threat, or not even a direct threat, if someone is a possible danger to those in the public. While I'm not very well versed in judicial law, I believe as people we have a responsibility. I know there's patient-client privacy, but I think there's a responsibility, especially in that scenario, to keep the public safe and informed. And I think that there should be some legal accountability held for someone in that scenario.
And Delegate Sucheski.
Bella Sucheski, East Shore Y. How do you think the fiscal note system has worked so far?
Absolutely. So it's definitely, I'd say it hasn't been a perfectly smooth run through the first time, but it works. And I think I've really enjoyed trying to create that aspect of fiscal responsibility. I hope it's something future governors can reform in the future. Only thing I will say is I think we drastically overestimated the amount of bills we would be able to pass. So I set the FN cap a little high, but I think it's something that in future years will be add a little bit of exhilaration to the process and some tension, and really start debates about fiscal responsibility within chambers.
Delegate Bando sorry.
Ashana Banyopatai, East Shore Y. Do you have any advice for delegates in the program who have yet to experience an in-person model legislator?
Yeah, and it's just stick with it. I remember I was with Parker last night at our delegation meeting because we were just having, the post model chat from a day typically. And I'm sure anyone who's been to an in-person model can relate, sitting in a hotel room, eating pizza, talking with your friends. And we were just like, hey, imagine this at the Harrisburg Hotel after a day at the Capitol. This year has been awesome, especially for a lot of first years. I think they've really enjoyed the process. And our advice is stick with it because, once our program size grows back again, once we have that opportunity to be in person, it's only going to get better.
Delegate Lasher.
Jody Lasher, East
No
Shore.
worries.
As the conference is coming to a close, do you have any words of encouragement for delegates to finish strong?
Absolutely. Stay motivated. I personally have been pouring through as much of the bill book as I can, keeping engaged in this last day, especially toward the last chamber session. I know can be hard, but you only get one weekend to do this a year. It's a really unique experience, and keep engaged as much as you can, make as many memories as you can within this process.
Delegate Beckett.
Gavin Beckett, East Shore Y. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for your time. What is your number one source of motivation while serving as governor?
I'd say my best source of motivation is probably just trying to keep the people who have stuck with it, and this virtual year especially, because I know how hard it is, happy. Trying to create and foster an environment that's really enjoyable for people to get on. I hope people were excited to wake up today to get on Zoom for several hours and enjoy this conference, because this is a program that has impacted my life unequivocally. It's really given me perspective on how I want to approach my future career. It's given me more confidence as a person. I met this knucklehead who's my press secretary a lot through YAG. So it's something that I'd say has probably been the best part of my high school career. And I want to try to foster an environment where it can be the best part of a lot of other people's high school careers and a jumping point for them.
Delegate Jawad.
Being Jawad, East Shore Y. What is the greatest lesson you've learned while serving as a youth governor? And what advice would you give to the incoming youth governor?
The greatest advice I honestly have is that it requires flexibility. And whoever's the incoming governor, I would say, I know last year I probably spent hours like writing a 6-page document with everything I wanted to do. And realistically, you're just not going to get to all of that. You're not going to get everything you want to. So it's to prioritize what you believe's most important. At any points you just feel like quitting because it's too much work, finding why you started, and really keeping motivated through those aspects, looking at why you started and what you think is most important to push as governor.
That concludes our press conference. That was everything we had to ask you. Thank you so much for joining us and answering all of our questions. I'll pass it over to Alex if you have anything else you want to mention.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, all of you. I remember my days as a press delegate, so I'm glad we could give you guys an opportunity to talk to the governor, ask some questions, and I hope you guys have a great model.